We risk becoming an island of strangers.
A tough new approach on migration.
Not a nation that walks forward together.
Welcomed by some Labour MPs, but leaving others deeply uneasy, especially about the language.
It was just a huge disappointment for me to hear that coming from our Prime Minister at this point, because we've had such a ramping up of negative rhetoric around migrants.
I don't think it's the language of Enoch Powell. What he was articulating, it was the fact that our infrastructure is broken, and it is the consequence of high levels of immigration.
The Prime Minister's spokesman was asked about claims from a small number of MPs that his language echoed that in Enoch Powell's Rivers of Blood speech about people feeling like strangers in their own country. Downing Street said they completely rejected that comparison. At a car manufacturer in Crewe, the Home Secretary and the Welfare Secretary putting a different spin on it.
I really agree with the Prime Minister that if you come to this country, you should make a contribution, as many migrants do, and learn the language. There's been huge benefits of migration, but I think many people feel it needs to be controlled and managed.
On Sky News this morning, a senior Conservative welcomed the sentiment.
I think there are certain places in this country where people are not living side by side, where we are a very divided, segregated society. If you look at the centre of Bradford, for example, 50% of people were not born in the UK. If you look at the centre of Luton, almost 50% of people only arrived in the UK in the last 10 years.
We visited one of the places he mentioned, Luton, where 40% of residents were not born in the UK, and found plenty of voters in favour of more controls on migration.
The lists for housing and the list for doctor's appointments are just getting longer and longer. And personally, I'm blaming it on, country being overloaded.
Our faith and religion are getting pushed to the side, and it's, you come here, then you should integrate.
I think it's a good thing if they can control the amount of people who actually come into the country, because where do you put them? Where do they work? What do they do?
I think perhaps people can learn to get along with one another, rather than crack down on immigration.
Labour say tackling immigration is not just about numbers, but earning the right to live in Britain. What that means is likely to divide opinion. Tamara Cohen, Sky News.